Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Good day, everyone. It's Grizzly Storytime. Today we have a great old favourite story with a nice lesson for us all, and it's called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I'm very sure you will all know this story. Okay, let's start. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there was three bears who lived in a house in the forest. There was a great big father bear, a middle-sized mother bear, and a tiny baby bear. One morning, their breakfast porridge was too hot to eat, so they decided to go for a walk in the forest. While they were out, a little girl called Goldilocks came through the trees and found their house. She knocked on the door, and as there was no answer, she pushed it open and went inside. In front of her was a table with three chairs, one large chair, one middle-sized chair, and one small chair. On the table were three bowls of porridge, one large bowl, one middle-sized bowl, and one small bowl, and three spoons. Goldilocks was hungry, and the porridge looked good, so she sat in the great big chair, picked up the large spoon, and tried some of the porridge from the big bowl. But the chair was very big and very hard. The spoon was heavy, and the porridge too hot. Goldilocks jumped off quickly and went over to the middle-sized chair. But this chair was far too soft, and when she tried the porridge from the middle-sized bowl, it was too cold. So she went over to the little chair, picked up the smallest spoon, and tried some of the porridge from the tiny bowl. This time, it was neither too hot nor too cold. It was just right, and so delicious that she ate it all up. But she was too heavy for the little chair, and it broke into pieces under her weight. Next, Goldilocks went upstairs, where she found three beds. There was a great big bed, a middle-sized bed, and a tiny little bed. By now, she was feeling rather tired. She climbed into the big bed and lay down. The big bed was very hard and far too big. Then she tried the middle-sized bed, but that was far too soft, so she climbed into the tiny little bed. It was neither too hard nor too soft. In fact, it felt just right, all cozy and warm, and in no time at all, Goldilocks fell fast asleep. After a while, the three bears came back from their walk in the forest. They saw at once that the door of their house was pushed open, and the father bear looked around, then roared with a growly voice. Mother bear said in a quiet, gentle voice, "Somebody has been sitting in my chair." Then the little baby said, in a small squeaky baby voice, "Somebody has been sitting in my chair, and it's broken." Then Father Bear looked at his bowl of porridge and saw the spoon in it, and he said in his great big growly voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." Then Mother Bear saw her bowl had a spoon in it, and said in her quiet voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge." Little Bear looked at his porridge bowl and said in his small squeaky baby voice, "Somebody has been eating my porridge and has eaten it all up." Then the three bears went upstairs, and Father Bear saw at once that his bed was untidy, and he said in his big growly voice, "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed." Mother Bear saw that her bed too had the bedclothes turned back, and she said in her quiet, gentle voice, "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed." Then Little Bear looked at his bed and said in his small squeaky baby voice, "Somebody is sleeping in my bed." He squeaked so loudly that Goldilocks woke up with a start. She jumped out of bed, and away she ran down the stairs and out into the forest. And the three bears never saw her again. That's the end of today's story. Is there a moral? Well, there is, but it's more of a lesson. The lesson of the story is the need to respect the privacy and property of others, and how your actions can hurt others. Well, my friends, that's it for today. I do hope you all enjoyed hearing today's story. I think I might be the daddy bear. See you again soon. Bye! Good day everyone, it's Grizzly time! Today's story is a great story with a valuable lesson for us all, and it's called The Ugly Fairy. I'm not sure all of you will have heard this story before. Okay, let's get on with the story, The Ugly Fairy. There was once a fairy who was learning how to be a fairy godmother. Most magic and wonderful, she was the kindest and cleverest of all fairies. However, she was also a very ugly fairy. And no matter how much she showed her wonderful qualities, it seemed that everyone was determined to believe that the most important thing about a fairy was her beauty. In the fairy school, they ignored her. And every time she flew off on a mission to help a child or anyone else in trouble, before she could say a word, they were already screeching and yelling at her, "Ugly! Get out of here, weirdo!" Despite her being little, her magic was very powerful, and more than once she had considered using it to make herself beautiful. But then she remembered what her mother had always told her. "My dear, you are what you are, warts and all, and never doubt that you are this way for a very special reason." But then one day, the witches of the neighbouring land invaded and destroyed the country, putting all the fairies and the wizards in prison. Our fairy, just before being attacked, put a spell on her own clothes, and helped by her ugly face, she managed to pass for a witch. That way, she was able to follow the witches back to their den. Once there, she used her magic to prepare a big party for everyone, decorating the cave with bats, toads and spiders. The music was provided by a pack of howling wolves. While the party was in full swing, the fairy hurried off and set free all the fairies and wizards who had been imprisoned. When all of them was free, they worked together on one big spell, which succeeded in trapping the witches inside the mountain for the next 100 years. And for the next 100 years and more, everyone remembered the great bravery and intelligence of the ugly fairy. And from that day on, no one in the land ever saw ugliness as a disgrace. Whenever someone ugly was born, people were filled with joy, knowing that for that new person, great things lay ahead. There isn't really a moral in this story, but there is a lesson. We can all achieve great things, and we have within ourselves all that is needed to do so. We should not give such great importance to physical beauty, nor should we want to change only according to how others see us. It's a fantastic lesson for us. People should consider a person's attitude and kindness and not their physical appearance. Okay, so this one had a lovely happy ending, as promised. But not all stories have happy endings, just endings. Well, my friends, that's it for today. I do hope you all enjoyed hearing today's story. Bye!